So you already know what you like, and you have a pretty good image of the type of man that you want to look like. Now you just got to figure out what to purchase. Well, today we're going to be talking about what you should be purchasing in your teens, your 20s, and your 30s that will help you transition into each tier while you are leveling up your look. What's up, all you good fellow fly guys? You know who it is, the cat in the hat, your resident fly guy, your chief architect, Michelangelo of StarArchitects.com, here to help you redesign your frame of mind when it comes to the styling thing. And it's What the World Wednesdays, yo. I hope that you've been showing up this week in style, but if you haven't, if you've been having some issues with your image, or finding yourself a little confused while you're in your closet, well, that's exactly why I'm here, to ensure that you are showing up in style and leaving a lasting impression with your image. Now today we're going to be talking about how you can level up your look as you transition from your teens to manhood. And before we do, I want to make sure that if this is your first time here, that I welcome you. Yo, I appreciate you for taking the time to redesign your frame of mind when it comes to the styling thing. If you find the information beneficial, please consider subscribing so that you and I can enjoy each other on your sartorial journey. And if you have been here, you've already subscribed, then you know there's only one other thing to do, and that is hit that notification bell. And that way you will be notified every time new content arises. Now, again, if we're going to be talking about the transitions, we have to remember that there's levels to this, So we're going to have a conversation about each level that you're going to find yourself in. Now, at 16, 17, and 18, I already talked to you guys about the things that you're worried about when it comes to high school. You're worried about being attractive and being motivated by sexuality and the attraction of the opposite sex, as well as social acceptance within that space. Now, because of those different types of things, you don't want to step too far outside of the box because you potentially could get clowned, but you also don't want to be so far in the box that you just get mixed in with everybody else. So what should you be investing in? Well, if you're that young guy, the thing that you should pay attention to is taking yourself one step above where everybody else is. And let's keep it real, fellas. We already know that you have a closet full of sneakers, you got a closet full of jeans, you got a closet full of t-shirts, and a closet full of trendy jackets. So what do you need to invest in? Well, at this point, all you need to do is invest in a great pair of loafers. Now, these loafers can be tassels or penny loafers, but they should be casual enough to still work with your jeans, or a great pair of corduroy for the fall, or a great pair of chinos that you can pretty much wear all season. The reason being is because you'll have versatility in both of those looks. You've already seen in that space that you can wear sneakers with the cords and create a little bit of a whimsical type of look, or you can wear the loafers with the jeans and dress that look up a little bit more in that space. And also, if you enjoy having socks, especially when it's getting a little bit cooler, this is a perfect time for you to invest in the happy socks that we talked about a few weeks back, that will allow for you to have a little bit of fun with your look. You're not working at any formal, industrious type of job, so you can have that fun, and will still set you apart by letting people know that you pay attention to detail. Now, when it comes to your shirts, you already have a great t-shirt, then now it's time for you to invest in a great polo, and not with the ribbed collar. I'm talking about the polos with those soft collars that will still give you a dress shirt type of look, instead of you looking like every other guy in your school. So at this point, you have a look that will be able to be transitioned all those different types of ways, because they haven't really ostracized you from anybody else. What anybody else is doing is still very familiar to the eyes that you're seeing. Lastly, when it comes to your jacket, instead of you wearing the standard denim or a leather jacket that everybody else is getting, at this point it may be good for you to invest in a great cardigan, because it won't be quite a blazer, which is a little bit too dressed up for most teenagers, but it still is going to be something that's cool enough to catch somebody's eye, especially that young lady. And when you are stepping out, you can always take it off, throw it over her shoulder, and let her know that you're there to take care of her. So then after that, you're throwing your hats up because you graduated, and now it's time to move to college. But you're still a teenager, so you don't really have to transition too much. But this is a great transitional period, because you're going to find that that closet that used to be able to hold all those clothes that you have no longer will do so. You're now moving into that IKEA small little closet that you have to really consolidate your wardrobe with. And that's a great thing, actually, because then you will start seeing the pieces that you really love. So before you step out to college, take an inventory of what you have and what you really want to wear on your college campus, because you may be wearing it for a couple of years. Now, once you move off campus and you get that walk-in closet all over again, you can bring those clothes back, but you may find that you don't need a lot of them, because now you're transitioning into manhood. Now you're moving into a space where you're going to need different types of access, because you're taking internships, you're actually going to grown-up clubs, and you're taking young ladies out on big boy dates. It's no longer just fast food and a movie. Now you're taking her out to dinner and maybe to a stage play or out for a walk on the park. And so you got to make sure that you're dressing the part, but you already have those basics that you need. So now it's time for you to, instead of getting a great pair of loafers, now invest in a great pair of dress shoes. So you may want to do a great pair of hole cut Bluchers or cap toes types of shoes. And for the fall, you may want to do a great dress boot, whether it's a chucker boot or a brogue, more type of military type of boot that's a little bit more detail oriented. You can do that because you'll have access to the type of industry that you're in. So if you're in a little bit more of a casual industry, you don't have to worry about being so formal. But if you are, then you can get a sleeker boot, maybe like a Chelsea boot, and that will be beneficial to you there. Now, when it comes to your trousers, at this point, you already have quite a few chinos, I'm sure, and you already have quite a few jeans. And you also have a great pair of cords, hopefully, at this point. Now it's time for you to invest in a great pair of flannel trousers. The reason being is that they won't be as dressed up or as formal as something that you would be wearing with your suit, but it will be something that's a little bit more dressed up that you can pair with a great sweater and a great jacket when you are stepping out into casual situations. When it comes to your shirts, at this point, you're starting to invest in sweaters and coverings within those different types of spaces, but your shirts are going to be those dress shirts that I told you you're going to have to invest in. And it's important, as a sidebar, fellas, for you to remember that this is going to be the most taxing space that you're going to be in. When you're in your 20s, you're going to invest a lot of time and a lot of money. So just prepare yourself for that so that you're already ready. Now, the last thing that you're probably going to be purchasing in your 20s is suits. Now, you're going to need two suits primarily when you're in your 20s. The first one needs to be a workhorse. Let's just keep it real, because in your early 20s, you're probably going to be at an internship. You're going to need to run coffee in it. You're going to need to do whatever busy work they need you to do, but still look fly. And once you get that job, and you may be able to get one more suit, you still have to work 3 to 5 days out of the week. So you want to make sure that it's going to be able to stand the test of times until you can really start expanding your suit game within that space. Now, quick caveat. Now, guys, I get it. In your early 20s, you're still going to be chasing fast fashion. I already know that. We already had that conversation as well. So it's important for you to realize that. And here's what I want you to do. Instead of you being so quick to go purchase the trendy item, when you see the trend come out, figure out where there's a correlation on classic menswear. Like I told you, menswear hasn't really changed over the last 40 or 50 years. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find a great vintage item, and that will actually be more cost effective than you paying retail for the new piece. And it will actually have a little bit more of an authentic look that will actually probably work for you in the long run. Now, when it comes to you being in your 30s, now at this point, you probably hit your stride, you have saved some money, you have all these other different types of things, and you're looking to expand your horizon. So now you just need to fill in those little gaps. And at this place as well, this is when you're playing more with your shoe game. So at this point, you can start getting those drivers. You can start having fun with these slippers and doing all those different types of things, because quite frankly, you've earned it. You put in the work. And so at that space, you're good there. When it comes to your trousers, this is when you want to start having more fun with the colors of the trousers. So you have, your standard 2 or 3 pair of cords. You have a great pair of khakis, and another 2 or 3 pair of chinos. And now you want to start playing with a little bit more of the colors that work for you. So instead of you doing the standard blue, you went and got a gold or a nice forest green type of cord, because you can have a little bit more fun. When it comes to your shirts, you already have compiled a great collection or catalog of dress shirts. So at this point, it may be a little bit more fun now for you to figure out those casual shirts that have a pattern or different, like I said, motifs that you can begin to play with, but you really don't have to make any investments at that point. This in the fall, I definitely would recommend that you get great sweaters and you start investing in the cashmeres and in the vicuña. Well, maybe not the vicuña, that's a little expensive. This is when you can start investing in great merino wool or cashmere types of sweaters and really building up that sweater collection. When it comes to your outerwear, this is when you can really start investing in top coats and having some fun with quilted jackets and all those different types of things. When it comes to your boots, you may want to get some Yodford boots and some Chelsea boots. You can begin doing the nuanced refinements of what you have already built upon, because at this point you have a pretty substantial wardrobe. Now once you have all these different types of things, now it's just time for you to refine putting them all together, because at this point you're creating a signature style. And from your 30s on, you really shouldn't be spending a lot of money on your wardrobe unless you have found yourself in a space where there has been an extreme weight fluctuation. But generally speaking, if you're a well-dressed dude, you're probably going to be much more aware of how you're wearing your clothes and when you are getting too big for them, and your vanity may bring you back down to your weight. But even if that's not the case, then you already have a baseline for the things that you need and what you need to invest in. So you have all those things in order. Now I hope you found this information beneficial and you will be able to start utilizing it for your own wardrobe so that you can continue to build upon the stuff that you already have and figure out looks that are going to enhance your character and your identity through your image. Now, if you found this information beneficial, please leave some comments in the comment box to help those in the community around us figure out how they can level up their style. What are your staple pieces and how have you built upon your style already for your age group? Definitely would love to hear those thoughts, and I'm sure somebody else will benefit from them as well. Please don't forget that we are here every Monday through Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And lastly, please don't forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind, so you should always dress to express. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.